Archbishop Christopher Prowse. I'm turning the tables around on the interviewer. I'm going to become the interviewer, and Stephen Cenatiempo, who is well known to so many of you as a professional broadcaster on the radio. So I'm going to ask you. So, and you've given me 5 questions, and I'll ask you. Well, Stephen, faith. What does that mean to you?
For me, it's an inherent part of my being, and I've had this discussion with people who don't have faith and who think that faith is a choice. I don't believe it is a choice. It's something that God has entrusted me with. It's a gift that I've received that I can't shake whether I like it or not. And of course, I do like it, but it's just something that's there. And I think a lot of people will say to you, people who aren't of the Christian tradition, and say, well, how do you know God exists? And I say, well, I know God exists because I believe in him, and I'm the biggest skeptic you'll ever find anywhere. And I just have this inherent knowledge that God is there with me. And in more recent times, as I've sort of come back to the church, I've learned to listen to God, and when you listen, you actually hear. And that's how my faith manifests, so to speak.
Yeah. Interesting to say that you're the skeptic, the biggest skeptic out of it, but you indicate you're showing renewed interest in the church. Why? Where is that coming from?
I've said to people many times that I've never had a crisis of faith. I had a crisis of discipline. My faith in God has never wavered. It's probably stronger now than it ever has been, but I needed discipline in my life, and as you know, as somebody that sees me almost every week, I've lost a lot of weight recently, and that took a lot of discipline to do that, and coming back to Mass has instilled a greater sense of discipline in me. So that's kind of what I was looking for, was that sense of closeness to God that would give me the discipline I needed to move forward in my life and be the best version of myself.
When you say discipline, when people hear the word discipline, they think of obeying the rules. Is that what you mean by discipline? And what challenges has there been in your life to become a more disciplined Catholic?
Well, my own rules, not necessarily the church's rules, but I try to be. I'm a traditionalist, so it's one of the things I like about the Catholic Church is the tradition. But look, I have gone through some pretty dark times, particularly in the last 5 or 6 years. My broadcasting career has been largely successful, but there's always ambition to go further than you have. And because we work in an industry that does tap into emotion a lot, it can work, it can wear you down, and that's where faith has actually helped me. I can now trust in God to take me in the right direction rather than try and put it all on my own shoulders, which actually was one of your sermons recently.
Well, that's a great compliment, thank you. You see in St. Christopher's Parish, because I see you there every Sunday, there's something attracting you, and if you don't mind me speaking frankly, I notice that you prefer to sit towards
Yes.
the back of the church. Please allow my curiosity to be answered. What's all that about?
Well, I think I said this to you one Sunday. I know my place, Your Grace.
Oh, near the exit. Huh?
Yes. No. Maybe I'll progress, but now that I'm on the reading roster, we'll have to progress to the front of the church eventually.
Well, unless we all turn around.
Well, that's right. Well, maybe we could try that. No. It's just like, look, I know that I'm a sinner, and I don't know that I belong at the front of the cathedral yet.
Now, a faith community, I mean, you could stay home and say your prayers and say, I'm coming closer to God in that more individualistic way, but no, you'll say, no, I want to be involved in the community called church. Tell us about what's going on inside of you that wants you to become involved in a parish or a community of faith.
It is that sense of community. I grew up in the Catholic faith. I went to Catholic school for most of my life. The last few years I went to a public school in South Australia because there was no Catholic high school, but I've always been a part of that tradition. And as I said to you, I had the crisis of discipline, which meant that I didn't have the discipline to get up on Sunday and go to Mass, but the want to do it was always there. So being a part of that group, and it's something that I would like to, I see as part of my vocation, is to engender that community with the cathedral too, and take away some of that anonymity that you have in a larger church that you wouldn't have in a small regional church, for instance. But it's, I guess, watching the piety of people around me, watching other people celebrate their Catholic faith inspires me.
Yes, it's interesting when you say that. I think of the great saint who's recently been canonised, St. Edith Stein, and she was a great academic, doctor of the church now, but she said in her autobiography that what really brought her back to the church where she was in an empty church towards the back of the church during the day, and a lady with shopping bags came in and knelt down in the seats in front of her. But this lady with the shopping bags had so much piety and holiness, she felt that God was shouting out in her, and a large part of her conversion was because of one person in a wordless way showed example of true belief in God. On that topic, your profession in the media, I'm amazed when you invite me kindly onto your show. That I can see you're doing 5 or 6 things at the same time, and you're going from the faith, then you're going to the sport, and then working out the weather and working out the traffic. But in your profession in the media, there, people, is there an interest in God, or is there a sort of no, God's passé or faith's passé? And so, I mean, how would you encourage people as a man of renewed faith in your profession in the media to perhaps think twice about that?
Well, I obviously have a platform, and I have a voice where I can express my faith. And whilst, I've always been, I'm never going to be the kind of person that will shove my faith down somebody's throat, so to speak. I talk about coming back to Mass. I have you on the program regularly. I talk about when the whole Calvary Hospital thing was going on. I spoke to Father Tony Pearl, now Bishop Percy, a number of times about that. So the ability to express my faith is there. But I guess I'm lucky in the sense that I work for a company that doesn't have a problem with me expressing my faith. And being a conservative talkback host, most of us have some sort of Christian faith behind us. Not all Catholic, but I guess I work in the part of radio that lends itself to being able to express that faith.
Great, Steve, thank you very much for your encouragement on the great new refreshed path that you've begun.
All right, now you're not going to try and take my job when you retire, right?
No, I'm not, but I am going to try and move you from the exit to the front of the church. Thank you.
This has been Faith in 5.